Hello everybody, Morgana Galaxia here. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're with me today. I am coming on today to do a reading on this big Russian hack. So that's my focus. This Russian hack, and let's see what the cards can tell us. And I'm also going to look to see what Biden's going to do. Hacks and consequences. That's what I'm asking today, everybody. So I've already been shuffling the cards. Let's just get right into it. One more for good measure, huh? All right. Russian hacks. I just want to do a general reading, okay? Just see what the cards can tell us. Any information about how deep this went, how big it is, maybe motives. Just let's see what the cards can tell us here, Spirit. Just one moment. Okay. Oh, all right. So, hacks. Russian hacks. They're always, can't they just leave us alone, right? We just want to have barbecues in our backyards and go to work and have a healthy family and try and survive this COVID. No, why Russia's always trying to mess with us. But here we go, Russian hacks. Just want to move these a little bit where you can see them. So here we are starting out with the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles. So I'm getting the Mercenary card, meaning right off the bat, okay? So I'm feeling that people were paid, sort of paid mercenaries. People were paid to come in here and do this hacking. There's skill required, there's expertise required for this kind of thing. And because people are always up for some money, we had some people come in on their dark horses and do this job, okay? Mercenaries, hackers. So that's where I'm going with. These are the hackers here getting paid some coinage for their services. What is crossing this energy is the card of Temperance. And what that tells me is they went too far, okay? They went too far and eventually it got caught. Now, they were at this for a good long time, at least 6 months that we know of, but this card is being prudent, moderate, careful in your steps, very measured, and this was crossing them. So I feel like this hack was so big, so widespread, so deep rooted. I mean, it was such a huge deal that it was just a matter of time before it was exposed because it was just too big. They weren't careful and moderate in their actions here. This was a full-on, huge, big attack. It was just a matter of time, you guys, that we were going to find this out. It's too bad it couldn't have been earlier. But what we have in the sky above us here, in our conscious mind, is the Death card. So this is telling me, you guys, that this hack and this attack on our nation's cyber infrastructure was massive. And it is going to be the ending and transformation of how we use these electronic tools, okay? How we use the cyber world. We are going to have to figure, a transformation is called for, okay? Because, yeah, this time it was Russia. Next time, there's China, Iran, Korea. There is no end to these nation states that will wage cyber warfare. This is just the environment that was inevitable, okay? The fact is that people will do what they can. Why did they hack us? Because they could. Why do these hackers agree to do this sort of dirty work? Because they can. This is part of humanity. We're a creative peoples, and that goes into the shadows as well as the light, right? We're creative, we're innovative. These hackers are always looking to, it's like a game of one-upmanship. Who can be better? Who can be more destructive? Who can always be on top, right? This is an aspect of our natures that is just working in our shadow realms right now. So where I'm going with that is there's nothing we can do about it. There will always be somebody who will try and attack us in this way. It's just the nature of the environment. So the only way that we can protect ourselves is to transform how we work in this world, okay? To transform our electronic systems. How can we go from how can we remain open, say nationally, while we have a closed system nationally? We have to figure out, right, how to prevent intrusions into our cyber infrastructure. It's just a vastly different way of doing things that really, if we would have had any sort of foresight at all, we would have built this into our systems, but we didn't because our technology moves faster than our minds, right? So that is what is in the sky for us. We are going to have to completely kill the old way of doing things and transform into a new type of cybersecurity structure, something that we can keep contained and safe. What is foundational to this question? What's in our subconscious, but really what's foundational here, okay, is a Three of Swords. Three of Swords. So this is heartbreak, regret, suffering, emotional suffering, okay? So yes, the hack itself will, I think I'm kind of going two ways with this card here. On the one hand, I think it's telling us that the hack is severe enough, widespread enough, and deep enough where it will impact us. We're going to feel it. It's not something that we hear about on the news and it never touches us. I feel like somebody's going to be suffering. It will cause suffering and heartbreak and heartache. It will cause sorrow, okay? The other place I'm going with this card is I think that there were some American actors who maybe had something to do with it, looked the other way. Somebody did something that is going to make us, that is just going to bring us sorrow, like if there was basically moles in our agencies, spies in our agencies where people we thought we trusted turned against us. That's the kind of energy I'm going with. Like, it's not just that this attack happened to us, but there's something in it that's heartbreaking to us. And I think it's that there was a mole or, that there was some sort of collusion. There was some interaction that sort of allowed this to happen, spycraft, that kind of thing, that when the regular people find out about it, oh, it's going to hurt, okay? Those are the two kind of feelings I'm getting with that Three of Hearts or Three of Swords, okay? So in our recent past, this is the energy we've just come through here. Is that a Nine of Swords? So this is high levels of anxiety, fear, agitation, sleepless nights. So I'm going with, this hack. I feel like people in our agencies, right, that are there to protect us, who are our cyber people in government, I feel like they either knew this was coming, feared it was coming. There might have been some red flags, some telltale signs. We've just come out of a lot of anxieties, a lot of fear here. So, and of course, that's in addition to every other crisis this country is dealing with right now, right? The presidential election, the economy, coronavirus, natural disasters. Oh my goodness. Now, this hack, it's like it's piling on for us. It's piling on for us. There's very much a feeling of Russia's kicking us while we're down, okay? When is the best time to attack? When your enemy is weak. We're really weak right now. I mean, I think overall America's very strong, much stronger than Russia. But this guy's kicking us when we're down. We've got a lot going on. There's a lot on our plates right now. And again, in the cybersecurity electronic realms of this, I feel like there was a lot of fear that this was coming. Okay, it's like the big one, the whole fear, like, what if everything goes down? It's like, yeah, not everything's going down, but this is a big deal, you guys. And the energy we're going to be moving into, how are we going to respond? How are we going to deal with this? We are hobbled right now, okay? We're hobbled right now. We've got so much on our plate. There's so much work that we need to do, and we just really don't have time to be thinking about Putin and Russia. But are we going to let that sidetrack us from responding, from holding them to account, for making sure that others who have the same idea are turned away, are deflected from this, right? We gotta really figure this out. What are we gonna do about this? That's gonna be my next spread after this one, is Biden's response. So how are we seeing ourselves nationally in this situation? We have the Eight of Swords, a lot of swords here. That just is a testament to the fact that the electronic nature of the information is through the air, it's through the ether, it's all, it's an air element, this communication. Anyways, how we're seeing ourselves right now, we're a victim, right? We're seeing ourselves as a victim. We've been attacked. We're definitely constrained by our circumstances with how we can move on this. We don't have 100% freedom and flexibility with how we want to respond because of our economy, because of coronavirus, because of we're in the middle of a transition. Biden isn't in for another month, right? We're feeling bound up and we feel the attack. We know we've been attacked, right? Okay, so the influences of outside influences on us right here is just another Eight of Pentacles. That's the outside influences. This is the 8. The kind of where I'm going here is, I know we have some agreements with our allies, and one of them is like, I want to say it's the 5 eyes, though. Could be 8 eyes. 8 eyes, 5 eyes. Okay, so I do have the idea here of working with our allies. Our allies are going to be working with us to sort of figure this out. And I'm getting pulled again towards the hacking, the skills needed to get into that kind of warfare. I think we're going to have help here, but we're going to have to do a lot. There's a lot of work to be done, a ton of work to be done, work that is skill heavy. You need to know what you're doing to be a hacker. So yeah, this is where I'm going with this, okay? Our allies are going to kind of help us out. We've got relationships there. We've got cyber sort of agreements in place already. Everybody helps spy on everybody else for all our friends. That's going to be brought to help us, all right? They're going to come and help us, I think, after January 20th, not before, all right? This is helping Biden. Okay, so hopes and fears. We've got this Five of Swords again. Five of Swords. So this is this is a fear, okay? This is bad actors doing dirty deeds. So basically what we're fearing is, this is the abuse of power card. So we're fearing that maybe we were a little more than just vulnerable to this attack. Again, like I mentioned with this heart, there might have been some spycraft, some moles, somebody abused their position, abused their power. At least this is a fear, okay, that there's some traitors in our midst. Traitors in our midst who are fighting against the benefit of the United States. So again, just a fear, it's not an outcome. But I'm happy to say that the outcome is the Justice card. That's the Justice card. So Justice is present with this question. Justice is here. Justice is the outcome. So that's great, right? That's exactly what we would want to hear, is that there will be justice done for this act. So great. That's my next question. What is Biden going to do? Oh my God, this poor guy. He's got everyone keeps talking about how much work he has to do. And it's just huge things, right? Huge things. Economy, COVID, race relations, corruption, election tampering and voter suppression, and now Russian hacking, not to mention the fact that we're trying to get rid of a Russian puppet in office. All right, you guys, what is Biden? Okay, so Biden's administration, our Attorney General, our intelligence agencies, they're all going to be getting together. They're all going to be talking. We got to do something. We got to do something. What are we going to do? What can we do? And it's, there's sanctions. There's kicking Russians out of the country. There is passing. I know that there was some cyber bill that we wanted to pass into law, I guess, that Trump kind of shot that down at some point. I feel like passing this cyber law, and I'm sorry I don't have more information on it, passing the cyber law would be a sort of a decent response to this attack, because essentially what it would do is create some of those international agreements to make certain things illegal and punishable, okay? So basically it would be telling Russia what, it would create a situation where what Russia is doing is illegal, is against the law, and will have punishments built in. But that would be a little too late, right? Because the deed is done. So I feel like they are going to be talking about what to do, the scope of it. All right, you guys, let's take a look at Biden's response. Biden's response to this, Spirit. Biden's response. Okay. All right. I never really put these where you can see them really great, but this will do. All right, so Biden's response right off the bat. Oh, he's thinking. He's looking across the waters over Russia just like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? This is planning. This is strategizing. But with a 3, it's starting to get put into action. So the 2 would just be like, okay, planning, thinking. The 3 is the beginning, is the first action of your plan. So I would suspect that there's already things that are happening. Okay, well, that makes sense, right? Because We've received this attack. Now we know that it's going on. We got to scramble. We're scrambling. We're blocking things, protecting things, you know, searching for viruses. Who knows what these people, I'm not a techie person, but they're already doing things. But there's thinking, they're planning. This is about consequences. There are people putting their heads together right here. And I feel like they're close. If they haven't already started, this card would indicate they've already started something. But if not, they're very close to it. What is opposing them is abuse of power. Okay, so I think what's challenging all this strategizing and thinking and planning, what's challenging it is these moles and traitors, okay? So there might be a leak. There might be a bad actor in the room who's trying to think this over. There might be somebody who knows someone they shouldn't. You know, this is challenging a planning stage, this abuse of power right here. So, you know, it's also reflective, of course, in the fact that we still have Trump in power and he's abusing that power. He's saying, oh, this hack wasn't so bad. And it probably wasn't Russia, it was probably China. That's garbage, you guys, garbage. And it just makes everything harder and makes it worse. So in the sky above, what is above this question here, is that a 7, right? That's the 7 of Swords. So this is someone, this is the hack. This is them stealing our information, trying to get away with that theft, all right? They got a lot, probably not everything they wanted. They got a lot and they're getting away with it as of now. This is the theft card. So there was definitely, you know, data theft. What's below, what's foundational to the question we're asking about consequences is the King of Wands. The King of Wands. So this has never really been my trump card. So what's foundational to this, I guess, is just that there's leadership there. There's really strong, active leadership, thoughtful, ethical, well-balanced people who are going to take the authority here to move forward on these consequences. So whatever we do want to do to respond to this attack, it's not like, you know, Biden can push a button and then something happens. It has to go through the process. Like this is Congress, right? It has to go through Congress, be approved, and this sort of thing. So that's what I'm feeling this card is representing, the process of getting approved, the steps we want to take to respond to this. And that's a very practical, foundational matter. Where we've just come through, we've got another 7. The 7 of Cups. So what this has come through is basically just Russians' disinformation campaigns, okay? This is illusion and delusion. So they've been hitting us a long time, since the 2016 election, with this, the disinformation and all the garbage they put on Facebook and all the, just the misinformation that they're spreading, you know, like Hunter Biden's server where Giuliani was up in there trying to make some stuff happen. This is telling us that we've come through a period where we didn't know what reality was. And again, this is directly related to the hack. Like all these different agencies have been hacked and we didn't know. We couldn't see the truth in front of us. We were deluded into thinking that we were secure when all this stuff was going on here. So, you know, this was going on for at least six months, and we had no idea, okay? Deluded illusions. But we're leaving that behind. And what's in our future? We have the Emperor. And I'm going to say right now, this is Biden. Okay. Nothing's going to happen until Biden's in office. And this is because this is the father, the great father. And look at this card. Look at Biden. I'm going to say the grandfather. Okay. So a just, well-balanced, fair-minded, extremely powerful leader sitting on that throne of authority is going to take in the facts, make reasoned judgments, listen to experts, and wield his power for the most benevolent but yet just end. Okay, so this is even more than a king, right? It's, in other words, the emperor just has that fatherness to it, that the fairness, the I'm not going to make a decision until all facts are heard. I just feel like this is Biden being prudent, being careful, being fair, listening to everything, learning everything he needs to learn. But when he makes that decision, it is going to be implemented with authority, okay? With authority. That's a little Cartman, if you caught that. All right, so how are we going to see this? How are we seeing this situation as far as Biden's consequences? This is my happy voter card. So this tells me, one, that there's going to be some transparency. Obviously, whatever we do to counter Russia, it will be secret where it needs to be so we can implement this strategy. But I think he's going to let the American people know. I think we're just going to have a pretty decent idea as to what he's doing, what our response is, and we're all happy about it. This is the approval of the American people. We're going to be happy with whatever we're able to know about our response to this attack. All right. The outside influence of those upon us, smoothing off or sailing off for smoother waters, huh? This is leaving. So influence of those around us. All I'm really getting here is an offer to help someone leave. I feel like I'm rolling past Trump here in this reading, so I'm not necessarily saying this is Trump taking off, because this is an outside influence coming in. All I'm going to say is that is supporting what was in the last reading, that our allies maybe from overseas are going to come in and help us, that we're going to get some support. So this is interesting. I'm not 100% sure where this is going based on the position of influence of our friends here, because it's definitely someone leaving. Interesting. All right. Regardless, hopes and fears that, okay, this is the White House. The White House. That's my card for the White House. So I think the fear here is that Trump or somebody in the administration was a big fat traitor, worked with Russia to help make this happen. Again, that's just a fear. I feel like that is one of the things that like the FBI, CIA, intelligence are going to be looking at to make sure there's no moles, there's no traitors in our midst, okay? But they're definitely going to be looking because nobody trusts Trump. And, I'm going to say on the flip side of that, the hope also, there's a hope with this that the new administration is going to be entering the White House and dealing with that. So I would say that's even stronger than my first hit, is just basically, yeah, new administration, moving into the White House, gotta take care of some business. Yeah. And for outcome, the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands. So this has often been my Nancy Pelosi card. Also Kamala. I think where I'm going with this here is that, like the King of Wands, to me this is Congress, okay? This is the House and the Senate. And I feel like maybe it might come to the point where Kamala has to break a tie for us to move forward on our plan. Or maybe, you know, the Democrats or Nancy comes up with some great idea, or somehow this lands on Nancy's lap. Basically, somehow in the House or Senate, this is going to land on Democrats. And that's kind of where I'm going, is that, you know, this is pointing to the partisanship that is going to happen as a result of us wanting to move forward on something. So say if it's sanctions, okay? Democrats are going to have to fight for that. Maybe Kamala might have to break a tie. You know, maybe it's some other kind of attack that we do something to them, they did to us. Somehow Kamala's going to have to break a tie, or Nancy's going to have to push something through. This is going to end up in Congress, okay? That's where I'm going. But I still want to come back to this Emperor. He's very strong, and we're going to be moving into that energy as well. So I think it's just telling us nothing really major is going to happen until January 20th and after, when Biden's in office, and he can work directly with Congress to push through whatever he wants to push through for a response. I felt like I was getting sword after sword after sword after sword, okay? So this, unfortunately, swords can be both fighting, you know, open combat type of fighting, but it's also an air element, which does mean that we could very well respond to this attack in like kind. So let's keep it on a cyber warfare level. This doesn't have to go physical. This is all happening in the air. This is all just swords, nothing but air going on around here. Well, nothing but mostly this, I think this is telling us it's going to stay cyber, okay? We're not going to be trying to bomb anybody or anything like that. No deaths, okay? It's not a bloody altercation. This is happening in the etheric realm, okay? The air around us. So that's where I'm going. I'll probably try and hit this again, see if I could dig down a little bit, you know, because we all want to know more. What is it going to do? But I think what we know is Biden is going to respond. He's going to respond prudently, practically. He's going to listen. He's going to learn. He's going to absorb. And then he's going to act very decisively. And whatever he does looks like it will have to pass through the House or Senate, you know, in that normal process. But in the end, the Democrats are going to allow that to move forward. So whatever we are planning to do will be executed, okay? That's kind of really where I'm going today. And I'll hit this again because this story isn't going to go away, you guys. Because I know we're hitting, you know, some things we'll be looking at again. I guess it's hitting Fortune 500 companies. And also there's possibly some other countries that were hacked as well, that this wasn't just the US. We'll see. Okay? But until then, stay safe out there. Have a happy Christmas, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye, everybody.